Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 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 testing. I did. It's on. Number 4. Testing, 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 testing. Mic 3. It's on. Testing 1, 2, 3. No, it's live. It's green.
Oh, it's probably just because it's pointing away from your face.
Oh, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. This is why I need assistance. I need help, Ario.
Can you hear that?
Okay. Can you hear that okay? Okay.
That's a hard job to do. I'm not putting out the big ones today. Just the little ones today. Just the little ones today. Go ahead, get started. And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns. All right, we are live, Lisa. We are live. Although I don't see our picture up there
I
yet.
think we are.
Are
Maybe.
you sure we're up and running yet? Because I don't see our picture up on the... There we go.
are.
There we go.
Woo! We're
All right.
here.
Welcome to the 9,965th episode of As the River Churns, right? So
That's pretty close. Yes.
it's not that many, but it feels like it, Lisa. You know, we're getting close to our 4-year anniversary of actually doing this. We started this back in March of 2020.
Wow. Yes.
We're not that far away.
No, we're not. Wow.
It's hard to believe.
Who would have thought we would have been doing this 4 years later?
Yeah, I certainly didn't think.
I didn't either. Yes.
I thought for sure residents would have kicked us off the stage a long time ago, to be honest with you.
But they keep coming to the audience.
Yeah,
We get
I know. We
larger
got a
and
great
larger
audience
audiences.
group
This
today.
Is great. Thank you all.
Let's hear some clapping from our audience today. There we go. See, we got a big group today.
I love it. We do. We do.
Did we promise them something that we forgot to get? Or? I know. There's no
I'm
treats
gonna have to do cookies
today.
again, right, Sarge? Cookies maybe next time. We'll
Yeah.
see. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So, well, Lisa, we had on as a picture on our
Yes.
thing. You know, I think I'd mentioned this during the resident association meeting last week,
Mhm.
but you know, I'll say it again. You know, after the staff members got their checks at Christmas from the residents, there was just such an outpouring of what can we do for the residents? We just want to show them how much we love them, how much we appreciate them.
Right.
And so a couple came to us and asked us if they could do something for, and so, you know, we suggested maybe the flags might be a nice idea, and so they liked that idea, and so they had a contest
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
who could design the best flag for the residents,
They did.
and
They did.
they did a contest for that, and then they all contributed towards that. I thought it was really great,
It's
and
great.
so
Yep.
we were able to unveil those last week, and so they look really good.
They do. They
You know,
do.
it's nice
I
when
love
you
it.
drive down the campus now, and it doesn't matter whether you come in, what entrance you come in, but you come in, you get to see the nice flags up, and it's
Mhm.
it just adds a lot of class
It
and
does.
a lot of love to our campus,
Absolutely.
I think. So
Absolutely.
it's pretty neat,
Very good.
pretty cool. All right,
Okay.
Trivia question, right?
Trivia. So the winner today, bottle of wine. I don't have Ken here to say the wine.
it's all right. He
type,
never said it
so-
right anyway, so it doesn't really matter. so.
Chateau Saint John. It's a 2014, and it's a red wine.
Oh,
So I'm sure it's wonderful.
well, it's 2014. That's a
Yes.
10-year-old wine.
Yes.
Are you sure it's not 2024?
Let me look through my bifocals.
Okay,
just a
go ahead.
second.
Look again, will you?
No, it's 2014.
All right, good.
Okay. It's an
Huh.
aged wine.
Aged wine. We like that, right?
Oh, so we have some January trivia today. And today, Michelle has off this afternoon, so we have Allison that is doing our production right now. So you're
Yes.
going to call a number and talk to Allison today.
Yes.
So let me repeat her number a couple times because it's different from what you probably have programmed in your phones. So to get a hold of Allison, it's going to be 336 458 9125. That's 336 458 9125. Okay,
All
here's
right.
the question.
All
It's
right.
a quick question.
A quick one. I
not
don't know what
much
that
to
means,
it.
but yes, good. It's a
So
quick
you're going to
question.
call in if you know the answer. And even if you're here in the audience, get on your phones and call in. Who added the 31st day to the month of January? Who added the 31st day to the month of January?
I will tell you, it was not Tom Smith. I did not
It
do
was
that.
not.
So that was,
It was long
don't blame me for
before-
that one, that's for
Long
sure.
before Tom Smith. So the number, one more time, 336 458 9125. Okay, call in. Oh, she's getting calls already.
Oh, she's running out.
Keep calling though, just in case. Might
Yes.
not be the right answer.
Yes. And you know, Lisa, while Allison's out there answering the phone call, we're blessed. We got Ariel here as well today.
We do.
So we got
we
Ariel
do.
and Allison
We
today.
had-
And I don't know if it just takes two people to run it when Michelle's not here,
it
or whether or
does.
not
It's-
it's just.
Co-producers today. Co-producers.
Oh, that's what it is. Ariel said it takes two people to handle both of us, so that's probably a true statement.
So Allison, you just give us a thumbs up,
And she
okay?
got one.
We got a thumbs
We
up.
got a
so
winner already.
We do
That's
have a
great.
winner.
So we have one person watching from outside. That's
Yep,
great. I
yep.
love that. Okay. Okay, let's move on, Lisa.
Okay.
So let's see. Usually this is our time reserved for COVID, when we talk a little bit about what's going on with COVID here at River Landing. And, you know, again, just as a reminder, it was probably 2 months ago now, almost, right, that we had an outbreak
The
of
big
COVID
outbreak,
in our
right.
healthcare center
Right.
and a little bit here on the independent living side. And, you know, we've been very fortunate. We got through the holidays, now Christmas and New Year's, and since there probably wasn't anybody left to get COVID, we haven't had much COVID. So, you know, honestly, right now we have no COVID that we know of in our healthcare
In
center.
healthcare, yeah.
We've got a couple of cases on the independent living side with residents. I haven't heard of any staff members lately that have had it, although there might be the ones or twosie out there that we aren't aware of. But it's, you know, fortunately for us, it hasn't been an issue. Now, you know, with people being closed in more, you know, but I would have thought after the holidays we'd see a little bit of a pickup, but we really haven't seen it much of a pickup. So very grateful for that, obviously. We know that COVID is very contagious. This strain is very contagious, but it doesn't appear to be too hardy. You know, if you get it, it's not really been too bad to get it. So kind of hoping that continues to be the case. You know, we're seeing more people now that are getting flu. I've seen more people talking about getting the flu or flu-like symptoms who don't seem to test positive for
Right,
COVID.
right.
So I think there's just a lot of that kind of stuff out there. And, you know, when you start going from really nice weather to 15 degrees this morning, you know, so.
Then next week we're going to be warm again.
Yeah, we'll be warm
So
back
it
up into the
just-
60s
yeah.
again next week is what I understand. So, which, you know, I'd rather have it, you all tell me, I'd rather have it be 60 and raining than sunny and 15. How many of you all are in agreement with me? So,
I don't either.
yeah, okay, good. I got a few that have said yes. All right, I got a few that agree with me there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's just something about the cold weather. I've got a son up at App, and he said they've gotten snow this weekend, and it was 5 degrees this morning, I think, overnight, and he couldn't get his car doors open. So, so
Yeah.
he thought it was something he was doing, and I went, no, that's probably
no,
just.
They're probably froze.
They probably froze in one
Yeah.
way or another. So, you know, fortunately, we don't usually have to worry about
No.
frozen car doors. But you
me-
said that you had a problem with your doors
Yeah,
one,
I
right?
had mine, my push button didn't open, but, you know, being born and raised in Wisconsin, I'm kind of used to that cold weather, just I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not have it,
Yeah.
but used to doors being froze shut.
Yeah,
so,
I bet you are.
Yep, yep. That was very common in the winter months.
I have a quick funny story. I was working at a retirement community one time, and this was up in the Maryland area. This is a long time ago, and the marketing director that was there, we had just had snow, and there was some ice, some freezing rain on top of it, whatever. And she went out to her car, and she couldn't get her car door open. She was, it was kind of caked over with ice and everything else. And she says, "I've tried everything to open." I said, "All right, I'll come out and help you." So I'm out there, and I'm knocking ice off the car and trying to get the car so that it could open up the door. And she's clicking the button and couldn't get it, and tried the door and just couldn't get the door to open. And so she finally said, "I don't know what else to do. I'm just gonna have to call my husband." So she calls her husband, and her husband makes it over to the community, and I'm standing out there while he's looking at the car, and he goes, "Well, I can tell you what the problem is." And she goes, "Oh, what is it?" She goes, "That's not your car. Your car's over there. This is somebody else's car."
No.
And they were similar, I will say, but it was funny. She was trying to open the wrong
Oh
car.
my gosh.
And I had tried for an hour to get that stupid car door
Wow.
open.
And it was never going to open.
It wasn't going to open.
Wow.
Those things happen, right? So, good times.
Oh,
Okay,
crazy.
let's keep moving on here. So, what's
Okay.
next on our list?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the clinic here at River Landing.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, so I just signed the extension for Wake to, remember we had a little bit of disparity about when Curana's gonna start and when Wake's gonna end. So we bridged that gap. Wake's gonna stay an extra month now and get us through to the beginning of March. Curana will take over as of the beginning of March. So I know we're still working through it. There's been a lot of questions coming in
Right,
about how
right.
that's gonna look and feel, and I understand that. At this point, the only decision we've made is to go with Curana. And you may remember, you may have heard me say this at the resident association meeting, but there were two organizations we were looking at. Curana was one, and Cone was the other one we were looking at. And Cone pretty much just said, we can't do it. So really, we didn't have a whole lot of choice anyway. But the one thing we liked about Curana was the fact that they actually they do this. They specialize in our industry, in a continuing care retirement community, CCRC as we call them. They specialize in our industry doing these types of clinics and working with the medical director and providing nurse practitioners go along with it. So we're very excited about working with them, but we're still at the beginning stages of that. We're still working through a lot of stuff with that. I know there's been questions about, is Amber going to stay?
Right,
And so
right.
we have made it a priority to make sure that Amber's staying. That's not a done deal yet, because I don't have the control over that. This is actually, Curana's going to hire Amber, and Amber has to work that out with Curana. Curana has to work that out with her. So I am putting my 2 cents in and trying to make sure this happens, but it's not done yet, and so they still got to work through that. But I think I still feel very good that we're going to get Amber to stay with us at this point. That to me is a key for making this a successful transition over to Curana. And so I promise you, I'll do everything in my power to make sure that happens. I don't want to lose Amber. But we are probably going to be turning the whole clinic over to Curana. That's usually their model. Whereas before, some of you may or may not know this, Liz, Keela, and Shonda are our employees, and they support the clinic that's there. Amber and Dr. Piazza and Alicia, who's over the nurse practitioner over in the healthcare center, they are technically Wake employees. So we're going to try and pull Amber away from Wake and have her come with us. And then Curana, it's not a done deal yet, but we're probably going to have Curana take over the entire clinic, which means that some of the staff that we have down there will probably be interviewing and talking to them about staying on board and working through that process. So, I don't want to get anybody upset about that yet, because that's very early yet at this point, trying to figure all that out. But that's coming. And I do think that we're probably going to turn it over. We've tried doing the split thing where, we work with a company that handles the medical director and nurse practitioners and then having our own staff down there. And honestly, we have just found it doesn't work very well.
they don't know who to report
They
to.
don't.
It just gets messy.
It gets really messy, and we found that out working with Wake that if there's an office manager involved from Wake, they're not their employees, so they have to go through us to be able to work with our employees and you can see that it's fraught with problems. And so we're thinking this might make sense just to turn the whole clinic over to Curana And this is something they do. So
Right.
we're
That's
looking
kind of
into
their
that.
model
Yeah, we're
of-
looking into that. So I know everybody's anxious to hear about that. They're anxious to hear about insurances and how the insurances are going to work with this. I get that.
Right.
But if you could just kind of bear with us a little bit, I'm trying to get something set up so that Curana can come in here and do a presentation to the residents. And then we can have it right in here and we'll introduce, hopefully the new medical director. Hopefully we'll be introducing Amber at that time as the new, the continuing nurse practitioner for the clinic. And they have a whole team that'll come in and answer questions and talk through all that. So I'm trying to get that set up so that we can kind of get that rocking and rolling. So
And I think it's safe to say that there will be definitely a transition period.
there will.
So it's
Yeah.
not going to be, seamless in the way of one company's here one day and then the next. There will have to be a transition period of that.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's a different software system that they'll be
Right,
using. There'll be
right.
some training that'll have to go along with
Different
staff.
equipment even, just
so
things like
yeah,
that.
so we're going to
There'll
have to, there's going to
Yep.
be some crossover and some time
Right.
to be able to do that. And we'll do our best to try and make it as seamless as possible. But, there's going to be some, anytime you're starting with somebody new like that,
Right.
there's a transition process that goes with it. So,
Yep.
the one thing, again, that I like about Curana is they've done this before. They work in CCRCs. They know our industry. They actually only cater to our industry. So I think, we're in good company with them. And so I'm excited. We'll have a new medical director that'll be coming in. That I think that'll work out really well too. So we'll have more information for you about that shortly, as soon as we can get that to you. Okay, what is next?
Yes, we have, the bills went out earlier this week and
Ooh,
I know.
bills. How many of you like getting bills every month from us? You like that? What? I heard a no. They don't like getting bills. Lisa, we need to just stop billing people,
We'll
don't
just
you
have
think
to
so?
change that. Oh. So with that, Arnie Thompson, who's up at MSO, and he used to be an employee here,
Yep.
which is neat to be able to work with him again.
Yep.
He also included a letter this time that this time of year, some people have changed insurances. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, we all know open enrollment was the end of last year, and some people changed that. So if you've changed that and you want to have it here on file, you can do that. So now's the time that we're asking for if you have new insurance cards. And I've had the question asked, why would I do that? I'm not using my insurance in independent living. It's really being proactive. So if you don't want to do it, that's fine. You don't have to turn it into us. But let's say you have a crisis, something happens, you fall, you break something, have to go to the hospital, and then you want to come back to our rehab center. Well, in order to expedite that, if we have your insurance already on file, there are times that we have to get prior approval for things. If you have those replacement plans, it's not as simple as traditional Medicare.
Right.
With replacements, you typically have to get prior approvals. So if we have all that information on hand, we can start that process. But if you've had, a hip replacement, a fall, something that's happened, you maybe can't access your cards as easily. So it's really being proactive. So we're just asking this time of year, you'll see this probably every year happening, that annually we will ask you, if you've changed your insurance, just give us a copy of that, and we'll keep it on the file for you. So just to explain a little more of why that letter came out and why we do that. First of the year is a good time to do that, because folks have had an opportunity to change insurances.
And Lisa, I think there's been a little bit of confusion because we are switching providers in the clinic, and some people think it's because of
It's
that
related
we're
to
doing
that.
it. It has absolutely
Nothing
nothing
to
to
do
do
with
with that. There's no tie-in with that at
Correct.
all.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
just want to make sure we make that clear,
Yeah.
because we have had a little bit of
Absolutely.
confusion about that. Timing has not been the
Sure,
greatest, and
sure.
I get that.
Yep,
But
yep.
that has nothing to do with it.
And if you need help making copies, please come to Michelle. She's done that for several folks. If you ever have anything that needs to go up to MSO as well, you can bring that to Michelle. So she takes things up to them periodically throughout the week. So just know that she's your person to come to. Also, if you have other things that you want to get to MSO and maybe Michelle's already gone for the day, we have that silver box right outside our office. You can even put it right in there. Michelle checks those daily. So if you do have something or communication that needs to go up to them, just put them in that box, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a hate letter that you want to send up to our corporate office, that's the box to put it in, right there, so.
Right there, yes.
I'm kidding. I'm hoping you will never have a hate letter going up to our
No,
corporate
I'm
office.
sure not, I'm sure not,
They do a great job supporting us.
right.
No, I will tell you that I put in a requisition to build a wall around the corporate office right now, but they haven't approved that yet. So
They've-
something about a 10-foot wall around their campus, their building
Yep.
isn't going across very well.
They kind of
so
turned that one down.
They've kind of
Yes,
turned that down.
Yes,
And my moat idea really, got shot down a long time ago. I was thinking about a moat as well, so.
yep, went by the wayside.
MSO is our Management Service Office. That's the building that's on the corner. As you go up Sandy Ridge Road, it's on the left-hand side there. That's our corporate office. That's where our corporate folks are.
We used to
so,
just call them corporate,
yeah,
right, corporate
yeah,
office.
Yeah,
And then
they don't like that term, corporate. So it's a little bit, I guess, cold to them. And
Yeah.
so they came up with this Management Services Office. So we've got this little thing. I don't think we mind sharing it, right?
No, I think we can share it.
Yeah, so when we're happy with them, we call them the Management Services Office. When we're not happy with them, we call them corporate. So it's kind of our little thing, right?
It
Kind
is,
we
it
laugh
is.
about it whenever
Yes.
we do it. So,
And I think they know we do this too.
well, yeah, because
So-
one of our department heads leaked the information and said we were doing this. So
It's not a secret anymore.
it's not a secret anymore. But no, actually they are a big support of us, and we
Yes.
appreciate what they do for us.
Absolutely. Okay, St. Andrews project update.
St. Andrews.
yes.
Yes. So we have a start date. We are planning on the 29th of January as our start date. So we're hoping that will be the date that we can get started, and we're excited about it. So, if things go well, we could possibly be done by fall. As you might guess, when you're working on a project like this, let me just kind of give you a thumbnail sketch of kind of what's going on here. So you may or may not remember, we have 16 rooms, individual rooms in our memory care area. And we really honestly have not done a whole lot in that area since we opened. We painted a little bit, or we changed furniture around a little bit, maybe changed carpet, but we really haven't done a whole lot of renovation in there, where pretty much everywhere else in the building, in all of our buildings, we have done something over the last 21 years. So it's time to do something there, and so that's what this is about, is going in and making some renovations in there. But when you have residents that are there, and we don't want to move our residents out of that particular household into another household while we're doing renovations, so we have to move residents around. So we're going to be doing 4 rooms at a time, basically, getting those fixed up, getting them done, closing off that area, and then when we can reopen them, we'll move 4 residents in there, go to another area, close that off, and so we're just moving residents around in there. We have actually reduced our census in there, where we could have up to 16 residents, but we've reduced it to 12, so that we are now in a position where we can just move residents around instead of trying to, when you move somebody out of a household, especially on the memory care side, it's just not really a good idea. So we're trying our best to avoid that. And so I feel pretty good about this, because we're down to 12 on our census. And so for the next, hopefully 8 or 9 months or so, we're going to just kind of tackle this and get this done. And so some of the things that we're going to be doing is creating some closet space in the actual rooms for the residents. We're going to be enclosing a porch area to make it a sunroom. And then we're making changes to the nurses' station and to the kitchen area. So there's a lot of things going on in there. It's all inside for the most part. And so, which will be good. If we have to do any outside work, we'll end up doing most of that during the better months of the year. But, I'm excited about getting it started. Sooner we get it started, sooner we get it done.
Right.
And so we've got Frank L. Bloom as our construction company, and you may remember that Frank L. Bloom has done most of our stuff here as of late. They did the whole project that we just finished up on the hill. They did that whole thing for us. They did our balconies here. They actually even did our Wingfoot. They did our Wingfoot building as well, and the Wellness Center in the back. So they really know us very well, and so it's good to be working with them. Our architect also is the same person that we've been working with for quite a while. So, you know, we had our first owners, architects, construction company meeting a couple of weeks ago. And it was fun because all the people that I was used to working with when we were working on the project on the hill are all back again. And so I'm getting a chance to work with them again. So it's nice working with a group of people that I know and trust very well. So I think it's going to be a good project. It's really our last really big project that we have left that we have really not touched here. So the other thing that maybe this isn't on our agenda, but I'll talk about it. Another thing we're going to be tackling a little bit this year is we're going to be starting, you know, we're 21 years old. We started working on some of the major roof systems that we have over in the healthcare center last year. We're going to be continuing that and moving over in towards the main apartment buildings coming up in the next year or two. We're going to start moving our way through. And also at the same time, we're going to probably start on some of the older cottages with roof systems, you know, basically removing shingles and putting new shingles up and replacing boards that need to be replaced and that kind of thing. So, you know, we got a lot of money invested in River Landing, and we got a lot invested in you all here, and we want to take good care of you. So we'll make sure we do a good job taking care of our buildings. You know, you saw that we just invested a good bit of money in our road system, just trying to make sure that that's up to snuff and where it needs to be. And so, you know, we hit 21 years. We're going to hit 21 years this month as far as our anniversary goes. So, you know, there's more things that need to be taken care of as your buildings start to age. And so we'll be doing some more of that as we go along. The next several years, you'll see a lot of roofs being replaced. We were replacing HVAC systems in our cottages. So, you know, we're just doing things like that now that need to be really kind of start systematically kind of fixing things up the way they need to be. Good stuff, a lot of good stuff. Kevin in maintenance is ecstatic about all this stuff that he's doing. So I keep adding to his list. He loves it. So he's a good egg. He's on top of this stuff.
And I think they're going to be doing some meetings and presentations to folks.
Yeah, thank you. As far as the St. Andrews project, getting back to that. So our next step is to try and have a meeting. I think it's going to be next week with the family members of the residents that are in St. Andrews, because I think it's important to be able to discuss with them what's going on, and the residents too. But you know, the families, I think it's very important to make sure that they're up to speed on what's happening and you know how it's going to look, kind of, and feel. And then in February, I had mentioned this at the resident meeting. You know, I'm hoping to have the architect, construction company come in and just do a presentation for the residents here that might be interested in what's going on over there, to kind of show you a little bit more detail about what's going on in the memory care renovation. So we'll try and add that to the schedule for next month.
Okay, so wellness updates. Who has heard of the Bright Spire Artist Showcase? Several of you, that's great. Okay, so I have some reminders from Courtney and Jill. We're accepting visual art entries for the showcase. Please bring your items to Jill or Courtney in the Wellness Center. Let's see, and if you want to know more about it, there's informational packets right outside the beauty shop area there on the counters. And let's see, the literary art entries for Bright Spire can also be brought to Jill. And the entries are accepted through this Friday. So for more information, talk to Jill about that. And the last thing the Wellness Department is seeking is performers for the Artist Showcase on Friday, February 2nd, looking for musicians, storytellers, dancers, jugglers, comedians, and performers of all kinds. So I'm sure there's some of you out there that could fit the bill for that. And so you're going to contact Jill on that as well. And then one last thing, join us for another round of circuit classes beginning Tuesday, January 23rd. Sign-ups are available at the Wellness Center desk. So they have a lot going on right now. January really starts the year with a bang.
Yes,
So,
it does.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we've come to a big announcement. The We Care winner.
Yes,
For
we had mentioned that we were going to.
2023.
Yeah, the We Care Employee of the Year, basically,
Yes,
is what that
yes.
is. And the winner is.
Ashton Fawcett.
So
So-
some of you may know Ashton. She works over in the bistro, and it's not Hayden.
No, it's
Hayden,
her.
Hayden is her sister,
It's her
believe it or not.
sister.
This is
Yes.
Hayden's sister, Ashton,
Yes.
that actually won
Yep.
that
Yep.
is going to be our We Care winner of the year.
Yes.
And why don't you tell them what she's done?
So Ashton was off one day. She was at Joanne Fabrics, one of her favorite spots. If you know Ashton, she's very creative and very artistic. And so she was shopping and she saw one of our residents and she overheard them. They were having trouble with their car. Their car didn't start. And she heard the resident talking about they were concerned because they were using oxygen and they didn't have much left because they went going to the store thinking they'd be going back soon. And she was trying to call people to see if a friend could pick her up, and she wasn't getting anybody. And Ashton went up to her and said, "Hey, I'm from River Landing," and they knew each other. And she offered to take her back home and help her get here back to River Landing so she wouldn't have to worry about her oxygen and all that good stuff too. So just that's going above and beyond. She was off duty, but she knew that resident needed help, so she is a perfect choice, I think, for the We Care Winner of the Year.
Yeah.
Not only is she caring while she's here at work, but also while she's off of work.
Yeah.
So that was a great person to have chosen.
And here's the exciting news. She probably doesn't know yet. So you all will get a chance to wish her and congratulate her probably before she finds out. So
So she's in culinary school, so she's here a lot
usually
of
on
the
the weekends,
weekends.
yeah.
Yep, and sometimes in the evenings.
yeah.
But during the day, she is going to school, so.
So we've been trying to reach her and
We
without
have
a
been
lot of
trying to
luck
reach
here
her.
lately. And so, but we didn't want to hold off on the announcement. And
right.
actually, you know what? If she hears it from the residents, I think that's really kind of exciting anyway. Lisa and I were talking about that a little bit. It was like,
absolutely.
you think that's going to be a problem? No, I think it's great. I think that if the residents tell her what the heck, I mean, I think that'd be
Yeah,
great.
So we're excited for her, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a chance to see her, you can congratulate her, and hopefully she'll know by then.
You know,
So-
and as part of being the We Care Winner of the Year, she'll get a small check. There's appreciation, monetary check to say thank you, and she gets an award, which is really nice. And then she gets the option of having lunch with several of our corporate folks. And so a lot of our We Care recipients decide not to have lunch with our corporate folks. They just, that's a little too much for them, I'm afraid. So
And she'll get a beautiful plaque.
she gets a beautiful
Yes,
plaque. So,
yes, so
yeah, but
we will
we'll offer her the
recognize.
opportunity to go have lunch. And actually, it's really kind of nice. The staff members who have done the lunch, Tim Webster
Mm-hmm.
goes, and Julia Hanover, our VP of Finance, and Mark Collins, our VP of HR. And so, we'll go out to lunch, and there'll be 10 of us, and that's a little intimidating for our staff
It
members to
is.
sit there with 9 other people, and but it's a neat thing, and it's just the idea there is to really just kind of show the appreciation for going above and beyond, which is
Absolutely.
what We Care is really all about.
Yes, yes.
So
And we'll have some more information coming out. It's a good time of year to start reminding folks what that We Care program is, a little more about it. So more information will be coming soon as reminders of what that program is.
yeah, maybe just to take it a step further, Lisa, we have a little bit of confusion because we have had this program ongoing for probably 12,
Years.
13, 14 years
Years,
now, where we
yes.
do the We Care Employee of the Year and blah, blah, blah. That's a whole program in itself. And then we just did last year, we did a customer service training with all of our staff that was also unfortunately called We
We
Care. And so there is confusion a little bit with that. And so we are going to work this year into trying marrying the two together so that there's not that confusion between the two. And so even on the nomination forms, I think that we're going to put out for residents and staff to be able to nominate staff members that go above and beyond, it'll try and marry the two processes up a little bit. And we'll have more information coming out about that and some more education about that. But I think it's really good. And if anytime we can recognize a staff member for going above and beyond,
Right.
it's a really good deal.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
congratulations, Ashton.
Yes, yes. Other announcements and reminders. Operation Cleanout. Has
Uh-oh.
anybody heard about this? So this is a reminder mainly for Augusta, Carnoustie, Doral, Harbortown, and Pinehurst residents. So there is a main storage area for residents that are here down at the lower level in the Harbortown space that accommodates all those apartment buildings for an additional storage cage, I would call it. Sometimes things
A
spill
lot
out.
of times,
things spill out of people's cages. I'm not sure how it happens, but it happens. So, so periodically, we have to have Operation Cleanout. And that Operation Cleanout is Friday. So folks have all been given notice, have to have everything back in your cages before Friday. Otherwise, the cleanout people will help you with that and remove those items. So they will take them out of the storage
And
room
they're
if they're
not
not
going
in
to
your
consult you
cage.
first. So
And-
if you really
No.
do have stuff outside of your cage,
You need to
you
have
need
it
to
locked
get
in
it
your
into the
storage.
cage.
Yes, yes.
or get it back into your apartment for a little while and then take it back down there after Operation Cleanup.
Tom,
Whatever works for you is fine with me, just as long as you know that. Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
Allison,
So-
did you stop that? Okay, no, that is not the case.
Sorry,
So-
I wasn't supposed to say that out loud,
You're
right?
not.
Okay,
You're not.
all right, okay.
It really does become a safe. It really does become a safety issue. So I'm sure some of you have seen that there can actually be things put in the hallways, and it can become a safety issue.
Yeah, it does.
So,
Yeah.
yep. And we have
And we're
kind
gonna assume that if you've left something there,
That
it's,
means you don't want it.
You don't want it. We're gonna just
right,
get rid of it. Is
right.
what we're gonna do.
And we will dispose
Well,
of it.
and if
from
you
there.
really wanted it, you might find it in the next yard sale. So you might want to go
Might.
down there and take a look too. So.
That is true. That is true. Oh, and speaking of yard sales,
Yes.
we are going to have an impromptu yard sale next week. So it's
Are we?
not on your calendars, but we will publish it on CareMerge, so
Yes.
be watching for that.
Yes.
So you may find those items.
And this is going to be a unique one, right? Because
It
this is going to be with.
It's going to be inside in an apartment.
Yes.
So we've done those periodically. It just depends. Sometimes when someone transitions to another level of care, they don't need all their furniture. So they may leave a whole apartment to us. Kitchen, furniture, everything. So we've had a situation like that.
And
So-
if you enjoy being in cramped spaces with 55 other people at the same time, this is for you. Let me tell you, this is your deal here.
I, I'm struggling with my host here.
We did this once before, and I went up there, and there was a line of 30 people waiting to get in to join the 80 people that were already in there, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll just pass on this one. I'll come back another time.
It is
So.
tight quarters. It is a 2-bedroom apartment at least, so we can space out a little bit, but sometimes it gets a little close, but it'll be over a 3-hour period. So that also helps too. And if you haven't been to our yard sales before, for furniture and things like that, we put envelopes on those and you do a silent bid. So you can say, I'll start at this amount and go up to this amount, and then you put it in the envelope and you let it go, and then we bid for you within that envelope. So you don't have to rush to it for those items, but the smaller items that you bring a bag and you fill it for $5, that stuff goes quick. So that's what people typically come right away for, is those goodies.
So if you want the small items, be there 10 minutes or 15 minutes early. If you want the larger items, don't come within the first
Don't
15 or
worry
20
about
minutes,
rushing
I can
for
tell
it.
you. That's not a good
very
time.
true.
Right?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. But everything must go.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
And have you noticed with our yard sales, I always find this interesting. We get quite a few residents that come down and buy things.
We do.
I always find it interesting that we'll have a yard sale and stuff will sell, and some residents will buy stuff.
Mhm.
And on the next yard sale, that same item it reappears. Have you noticed that?
It's happened before.
Yeah, it has
Yes.
happened a few times before. I always think that's
Or
kind
a
of fun.
couple years later, they'll say, I have a chair for you. It was the same chair I had 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we just sell it again.
I like this. I mean, it's
works.
a
It
nice way
works.
to. So.
Oh.
Yeah, same chair going over and over again. That's right.
Okay, I've had a couple questions this week about the medical tax deduction letter.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're not doing one this year. So
Oh.
I'm teasing.
So it's not out yet, so we will put it out as soon as we have it. And what's their best guess, Tom?
Yeah, so we called our management services office to ask them about that particular item. And I think you're gonna have it by the end of next week, I think. So, we had always promised that we'd have it out by the end of the month.
Right.
And so, but I think you might get it a little sooner. It might be the end of next week. So I know everybody's anxious to get it because, a lot of people want to get their taxes done or do their taxes or send it to their accountant or whatever. But that's something that's done as part once the audit for the organization is done, then that's when all that is determined with the medical expense tax deduction. And the audit ran a little later this year. It started a little later and ended a little later. So I know there was a little bit of delay getting the information they need to calculate that out. Our auditors do that for us. So, but I expect that we'll have that. You'll have that by the end of next week.
Thursday, January 25th, that's the 21st River Landing anniversary party, so hopefully you all have signed up for that. You could still get reservations, and that's both down here in the Water's Edge and also up in the Overlook area. So make sure you sign up for that. It's a lot of fun. We have the pre-functions over here in the multipurpose room, as well as up in the clubhouse. They have an area as well. They do pre-functions, so sign up for that. Timeline boards that go outside the bistro.
Yeah.
We're excited.
How many of you
Coming-
seen the timeline boards as you go by the bistro? You know what we're talking about with like the year by year pictures that or whatever.
Yep.
So we're getting ready to do the 2023 ones.
Yep, 2023.
So we will have those. Hopefully we'll have that within the next, I don't know how long it takes them to actually print
don't
those
either.
things out. We know what it's going to look like
Right,
now.
right.
We just haven't put it in yet to be able to get it done. So hopefully within the next month we'll have that up there. I always think it's kind of fun to go by there and kind of remind myself of what's happened, you know, every year up to now. And
Yep.
21 years,
I know, wow.
21 years. I was just a kid when I started here. Look at me now. I mean,
Okay, last announcement. The new fountain that we're putting in back behind the main building here, the part has come in, but it's really cold this week. So I don't know why. Scooter doesn't want to go out in the water.
well, you could probably walk on the water to get over to it this time,
Probably,
which is
probably.
good. But the bad thing is, you know, putting it in.
Exactly. So their goal is next week, because we do see there hopefully will be some warm days next week. So just know that part's here, and we're gonna get it going.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited because the new
yes,
fountain's
me
going to look and feel a lot like the one we have over here on number 9
Yep.
below the clubhouse. It'll be similar to that, I
Yeah,
think.
give it a bigger,
if I remember
bigger
right.
splash.
And so
Yes.
it'll be more, I think, more fitting for the pond out back. And so I think it's going to look really good when we get it up and running.
I do
so
too.
I had hoped that we would get it up. We actually got the fountain a month ago, but there was a
They
part
needed an
that they needed,
extension,
yeah,
yes.
that we
Yep.
didn't get with it that we had to order, and so that's what delayed it a little bit. So I know that we're missing the fountain out here, but the new one's going to be really nice. And so maybe when it gets to 60 next week, Scooter's promised he'll get it in then. So
Perfect day to put it in.
yeah, it'd be good.
Okay, we're down to the trivia.
Are we down to trivia
Yes,
already?
unless you have anything else that you can think of.
I can't think of anything else. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that anybody would like us to talk about? Look, they're half asleep, so I think I think we've done our job,
We're
Lisa.
good, okay.
We've bored them to death at this point.
Oh.
So
So the question, who added the 31st day to the month of January? So I'm going to ask the audience here. Anybody want to throw it out? Caesar, yes. So Julius Caesar modified the Roman calendar in 46 BC to make each month have either 30 or 31 days, with the exception of February, which he had 29 days and gained an extra day every 4th year. So that's the leap year with 29 days.
isn't he also known for a certain salad?
A delicious salad at that.
So what's that?
We can't get anchovies in it, though.
You can't get anchovies in it?
Oh,
I'm not sure everybody agrees with your idea of having anchovies
Oh,
in your
gosh.
Caesar salad, but
That's what goes in it.
that's if it, yeah.
to each his own. I wouldn't want anchovies in mine. Yeah.
Take them out.
Now
You could
you
take
put
'em out.
salmon in it now. Now you got me going here. So, but
Oh, so the winner.
Yes?
Let's see. It is our friend Lou Witt.
Lou Witt.
So
okay.
yes,
All right.
congratulations, Lou. So we'll make sure this beautiful red wine gets to you. So,
2014.
2014.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well, Lisa, you know, we don't get to do these as much anymore. We do them maybe twice a month now. So, you know, but I mean, we miss Ken today. You know, Ken usually comes and
Right,
does the follows with us, and you know, he always has
He
some
adds
great
some
pictures.
funnies,
Yeah.
yes.
So hopefully, I think he's going to be here for the next one.
I think so,
Yeah, I think he
yes.
is too. But you know, I say this a lot, but I really mean it. we're just so grateful for the residents that we have here. We're very grateful for River Landing to be able to call home. I don't know about you all, but when I come through the gate system, I just always go, you know what? I'm home. That's what it feels like. It's just home. I mean, even though I don't live here, like physically live here, although sometimes I feel like I live here.
And I'd like to live here.
Yeah, I know. One of these days, maybe we'll get a chance to
That's
live
right.
here, right? But, it's just such a great feeling coming into this campus every day. We know we've got incredible residents to be able to talk to and work with. And, we're not perfect here. We know that. We mistakes do happen. It's a human industry. It's a human service industry. So mistakes happen, but we try and at least learn from our mistakes and make sure it doesn't happen again. But, just I hope you all would agree. As bad as life can get sometimes, this is a great place for you all. And you're surrounded by people that love you and care about you. The care that residents and the support that residents give each other here, to me, is just what makes this community so special. I'd like to think it's the staff. And don't get me wrong, I think the staff do a great job trying to support the residents. But, really, when life gets its toughest, it's the residents that are here that really step in and really help each other out. And it is the one thing about this industry that I have loved so much is to see the interactions with the residents and how much each help each other and, want to be a part of each other's lives and just the friendships and, it's really a neat experience to be able to witness that firsthand.
Yeah,
Don't you agree?
absolutely. There's times where residents go through challenges.
Yeah.
Maybe,
No question.
I mean, extreme challenges, losing a spouse or significant health issues, and you truly all support each other, and that's the beauty of community. And I think that's, one of big reasons why someone would want to even come here is
Yeah.
you do have that support all around you and other people that are going through similar situations, so you have that common bond with each other.
The last time I looked, a resident, and there's a statistic out there that shows this. A resident living in a CCRC has a life expectancy that's 5 or 6 years more than what it'd be if they were living at home, through the end of their life. And I believe that
could see that.
because, I saw that with my parents. Some of you may not remember or know that my parents moved in here back in 2003, early on. And I know my parents both of them lived longer because they were here at really the best part of their lives. They were living in my sister's converted barn area, which was really nice, don't get me wrong, and they were close to my sister and everything else. But they didn't have that social interaction. They didn't have that nutritional aspect that comes with being here. I don't know about the nutritional aspect of it, but, for them, it was very important for them to be here and to have that. And I know that they were here 5 or 6 years longer than they would have been if they'd have been at my sister. And in their case, probably even longer than what it would have been at my sister's house. So, there is something to it. I think that this is a special place to be. And you know what? I know I speak for Lisa and Allison. Thank you for letting us share your lives with you. Thank you for letting us be a part of that. Thank you for being honest with us. Thank you for being friendly with us. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for all those things that you all do. And it's just really cool. Sometimes we go through life and we just, we go from one thing to the next, right? It's all about distractions. It's all about what's on our list to do for the day and just moving from this. And we forget to take a step back and go, wow.
Yes.
We really are
Yes.
blessed in so many ways. And we are blessed to be here. I hope you feel blessed today. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you all very much.